now from Hollywood, California, the horror capital of the world, the Boulet Brothers, creatures of the night.
Hello, Uglies, and welcome to a new episode of the Boulet Brothers Creatures of the Night. We are your hosts, Swantula.
And Swantula.
Oh, God, you fucked it up. The one time I let her go second and she fucked it up. And that's Dragula. She's in rare form tonight, as you can tell. And we are coming to you live from the planet Transsexual. Ooh. And be warned, because the sonic transducer is warmed up and our fingers are on the trigger.
So let the sinning begin, because it's a blood moon fang bang.
So good. Holy shit.
Oh my God. Okay, I haven't seen it for a while until we watched it with everybody last night. Mm-hmm. And it's so good. Okay, if any of the finalists are listening to the podcast, I just want to say it to you again. You all killed it.
Incredible.
I am so proud of you. The singing, the dancing, and I know how little time you had to learn that. I am so impressed, and I would love to take that show on tour.
Oh my God, absolutely. We may or may not be working out the details for the next tour, so I'm going to put this in the hat as the group number, and I kind of want to be in it.
Oh.
Yeah, you too.
See you later. I'll tell you what, I'll do a podcast to open the night like we used to do alone, and then you can do the Blood Moon Fang Bang musical.
That is a fucking deal. That is a steal for me. Yes, I'm in. Okay, why musical though? Like, why musical now and why Rocky Horror?
Okay, so why musical? This is something that I think a lot of fans, we have a lot of new fans on the show this year, and a lot of them's experience with drag is Drag Race. That's their reference point. Mm-hmm. And they think of Drag Race as inventing musicals. This is not the case, okay? Musicals have a huge and long history of being a part of the queer community and drag. Way back before Drag Race ever existed. Drag was born in theaters, first of all. And second of all, when you go back and look at people like Varla Jean Merman and even the stuff Heclina and Peaches Christ were doing, and way beyond that even, you look at Dina Martina, like it's just Hedda Lettuce, Jackie B, all these people were like a huge part of theater culture. And those people I'm referencing would be kind of considered the new school, right? They were sort of right before Drag Race, but there were people way before them doing this too.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's why I think it's important, even though I hate musicals, to make them a part of our show, because our show is about queer culture.
That was deep. You went deep. For me, it's a much simpler answer. Yes, musicals, shows, part of queer culture for sure. We did a musical back in season 6, and our mission was to exemplify how ridiculous they can be or how crappy they can sound when people are untrained. And then we put it out there and it pissed everybody off, which delighted us because we're going to do it again. But this time we wanted to make it, okay, now let's apply ourselves. Now let's see what a Dragula musical looks like with all the bells and whistles. And the singing was still live. Everybody sang on that track, maybe with the exception of JK, as somebody pointed it out. But
Sigourney
pointed it out. I was trying to be nice. And we wanted to show, well, how good can it be? And let's bring choreo into it. Let's stage it. Let's write it. And it was all original. And I'm so proud of it. I see people like reacting like with the same level of excitement that I react to it when I see it, which is the best feeling.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we did a musical, me and you did not have anything personally to do with it.
Right.
This time we had a lot to do with it. And I think maybe because we were engaged and we're very familiar with the cast and their talents and stuff, I think we were able to just bring it to a different level this time.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's all there.
And why Rocky Horror? Rocky Horror, I feel like Dragula continues the message of Rocky Horror.
Me
right?
too.
It's like, it's all about the underdog. It's all about the freak. It's don't dream it, be it. It's, you're a mild-mannered nerd guy during the day and you rip off your clothes and you're like a bisexual freak in pantyhose at night. And that's what Dragula is all about.
That is what Dragula is all about. I mean, it's like so hugely influential on everything that Drac and I do, like especially when it comes to Dragula. And so all the messaging is kind of the same. Like we call each other Transylvanians. Like the guest judge panel on this episode of the show is basically like the high tribunal of Transylvanians. Like between us and Darren and Peaches, it's like these are the type of queerdos that I mean when I say Transylvanian. Yeah, and Peaches, for those of you that don't know her history, because she does a lot of stuff, she did spend a lot of time making theater, kind of big theater productions in San Francisco, like the Castro Theaters, where she did a lot of stuff, and it was huge. She's done things in every city, really. Yeah, even across the pond, too, like in other countries. To me, as far as drag and theater is concerned, I think she's kind of the expert. I agree. Yeah, and she's worked with like the biggest names in drag, pretty much. You know, like the biggest stars in the world, basically, as far as the drag world. Yeah. Hello. I mean, wait, no, Peaches, wait. She never fucking put us in the show. Yeah. Okay. I know. Put it out there. I don't think she had much faith in us back in the day. Surprise, bitch. Yes, here we are. Still standing, bitch. People often underestimate us, though. We're not just a latex dress and a pretty face. That's right. It takes more than an ugly face and a bad attitude to run Dragula. Let's take a break and we'll come back and jump into this episode. Okay, so this is your official welcome to the Boulet Brothers Dragula Titans Season 2, Episode 7, Postmortem, our Boulet Brothers horror picture show. And when we last left our group of unfortunate ghouls, they were in the ghost town. And here we are opening up on that entrance lab, and it's the age-old track record versus what they did in this challenge that everyone's thinking and talking about. So is it going to be Cynthia that walks back in, or is it going to be Blackberry that walks back in? What did you think of that conversation? You know, it was odd because Abora is the one that called it in the Cauldron of the last episode. She said, I know how these things work, and Cynthia's coming back. Yeah, I think she was the only one. She was the only one that said that. And I was almost expecting more of a pushback from Blackberry's elimination, but people seem to be very excited for Cynthia to come back. And I think that, you know, Cynthia's such a big character that I think she's just become such a fan favorite with people that they just don't want to see her go home regardless. I know. Cynthia Zoll, if you're listening, I fucking love you. Like, but I also love Blackberry. I mean, I love Blackberry too, but this is a Cynthia moment. Cynthia, we love you. Your drag and your transformation this season over and over and over again consistently has been so good, and your personality is just through the roof. And I have to say, of all the people that we've cast, maybe from all of the seasons, Cynthia, I remember specifically casting Cynthia, and when that happened during her season, and I thought we were going to get one thing, and girl, was I wrong. Yeah. We got 50 times more than I ever could have imagined in this wonderful, kooky maniac who I absolutely love. Cynthia, this one's for you. Well, I mean, just talking about the people that were up for elimination, I will say this was probably the hardest elimination for me. This was the hardest decision. Like deciding that Blackberry was going to go home was probably, the hardest elimination for me of this whole season. Wow. Yeah. I know. Well, because you and I were back and forth in the judge's booth and just kind of like really ruminating on, okay, what if it's this and like, what if it's that? And, you know, I love and respect Blackberry too as an artist and as a person and just as like, you know, a creative. It wasn't easy. No. Yeah, because there's two very, very lovable people. Yeah, totally. But, you know, I think what was supposed to happen happened. And here we are with Cynthia back in the room with no wins. I know. But the truth is, I have seen an evolution with her drag. I really do think she was ascending. I don't believe that Blackberry was descending, as Cynthia said. I think Blackberry tripped
2 or 3 times. That's what happened, you know.
Yeah.
But
I can see though where she was coming from when she said I'm showing progression and she was showing regression.
Oh, that's what she said.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's so wrong, honestly. You know, Cynthia was really kind of like breaking out of her own boundaries and showing us stuff that I wasn't sure that she was even capable of. Not that I doubted her, but just like when I pictured her drag, these kind of things didn't come to my mind. So when I saw that Methuselah fucking vampire distorted crazy shit, you know, I was like, wow, I did not see this coming. And then the props and stuff on this Ghost Town episode, like she really stuck her neck out there and her eyebrows and took some risks. And, you know, I think it paid off.
I gotta, you know, I say this to people, like the drag is half of it, but I tell everybody this when we cast them. I'm like, this is a reality TV show. Like just doing good drag is not enough. It's not. It's not a you know, peer judged competition at town hall. It's entertainment, and having a big personality is a part of it.
Can you imagine if all we had to do was just good drag to be on Dragula? I can't. The truth is, I can't.
No, I can't either. I mean, you know, I never say this, but I'm gonna say it because I don't know. I just feel like it.
Say it.
When we cast Titans 2, once the cast was locked, I thought there was a good chance that Blackberry would win the whole thing. I did. Yeah. And I'm not disappointed in her at all. I hope she comes back again. I think, you know, there's a crown out there in the world that she could snatch.
Yeah. I could definitely see that. If someone peeked into my notebook and if I was projecting like who I thought would be there at the end, Blackberry's name would have been on the list.
Yeah, definitely.
And there are other Dragula monsters out there, not on this season. There's one in particular that I'm thinking of that she needs a crown.
Foxy.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
She still cracks me up when I watch like Mary. I'm Mary not Poppins. Like she cracks me up from season 1.
It's good. So the newest challenge is revealed. It's the Boulet Brothers Horror Picture Show. We are returning to the musical format. And this kind of goes back. We were like, we want to create something in the world of Rocky Horror, but also squarely in the world of Dragula. Like left foot in Rocky Horror, right foot in Dragula. And what we took from inspiration-wise is kind of from Drac and I's like personal story, our origin story of Drac, Morta, and Swanthula. And it's so much more than this, but when you boil it down, we are vampire queens from outer space. This Earth is not our planet. We are strangers here. And that was the vibe for the musical. And of course, there was like the conservative sort of religious aspect, which is just so fun to make fun of. And that's where we took all of our inspiration from. And it came out in what we saw on this episode.
And it came out in an incredible way. Like we already mentioned, I was thrilled with the way this turned out. Yeah. I really was. Like I'm going to say, and I want to also mention, I don't think we have a whole lot to review this episode, but a lot of people had questions about it. So I think we'll do extra listener questions today, and listeners can get all the tea they want there because there's a lot of good ones. Yeah, exactly. But back to the point. Yeah, I honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't have sent anybody home. You know, I know we had to because I know what we've talked about this before in the production. We have talked about this before. It had to happen. It's tough. Somebody had to go home, but it was really great to put it on Eva so that I didn't have to pick. Yeah. And look, this season provides another opportunity to return, even for someone who was evaporated by the sonic transducer. Yeah. And I think I've seen a little bit of a cry out of like, oh my God, how could you give one competitor so much power? Because we have never done that in the history of the show, and we probably won't do it again unless there is something like this, sort of a second chance, right? Now that your sister has turned on you and cast you out, now it's up to you to fight in your way back. In the Hellbound Showdown. Yeah. And that was the sort of safety net. That is the answer to the question, why would we give someone so much power? Yes. And I wanted the fans to see that there is consequence and that they say, well, what's the point of teaming up with each other and all this gamification because it never manifests in anything? Well, you see right here, it absolutely does. Someone literally blasted you out of the show completely. And I wasn't even 100% sure that was going to go down the way it did on that episode, but the timing was right. It was perfect. And to me, it was important for Eva, in my opinion, as a drag artist and her personal growth and what I want to see from her this season. I want to see her stand up for herself. I want to see her not get steamrolled by someone like Hollow Eve. I want to see her make a decision, be decisive, and be cutthroat to get herself ahead if she needs to. I have personal challenges for every single competitor on the cast. And that to me was her challenge.
You have a lot of personal challenges as yourself as well.
Like what? Dealing with you, tolerating you. That is my biggest personal challenge.
And it's a fight that will never, ever be over.
Yeah, I really did like Disasterina, right? I was like, to me, Disasterina, your personal challenge is to show up when you're not in drag.
Yeah.
Because she's really interesting, she's really cool, and it was to show up. And when she did, people noticed, but she didn't show up a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to agree with you too about this particular personal obstacle that I think you're saying you felt that was in front of Eva, because I felt it too. And not that this had anything to do with Sigourney, it had to do with conviction. And I think that's part of what we wanted to see from Eva, developing as a competitor, just as a person that we worked with before. Like, your voice is so strong when you're in drag. Let your voice outside of the drag performance be just as loud and just as concise and just as deadly. And she did it, and I was proud of her.
Yeah, and I also want to say, look, I don't want Eva to change her personality. I like Eva for who she is, but I think from my history with her, I know that she is a strong person. I don't always know that she approaches people with the confidence that I think she should.
Mm-hmm. And that she kind of deserves.
That she deserves.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, that I think enough said about it.
And I kind of want to, just go down the line. Like, I thought Sigourney's characterization of this virginal girl who gets corrupted was so great. I think Cynthia brought a character to the conservative guy counterpart that was so outside the box. Like, I think I said it on the episode, that was drag. Like, her in that conservative weird little Brad wig and a button-down shirt. I'm like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen Cynthia wear, and I just saw her with 10 electrodes and like udders on her genitals like 5 minutes prior.
I think Sigourney killed it. I'm really proud of her. I know that she has those talents, but we haven't had a challenge with the season that she's on that she's been able to show it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Really, showstopper. She did phenomenally. And also, I think Cynthia, just like you said, I think Cynthia did incredible. Like, the role was small and she made it kind of big.
Yeah, very memorable for me. And Abora too. Like, I don't know that I necessarily would have thought, like, when we first started the rehearsals, I was like, oh fuck, like, I don't know that she's gonna get it. Mm-hmm. And they did not have a lot of time, like maybe 48 hours for this thing to be like staged.
I can't believe it. I couldn't have done it.
It was crazy. It was really intense and very fun. But I'm so proud of what Abora was able to pull off too, because there wasn't just a cool look. There was a lot of like that Transylvanian attitude that I think with like the hair and stuff, and got the choreo. Maybe not 100%, but I think it was great. It stood up and it looked good.
Totally. I think so too. Like, I didn't know Abora could do that. And that's what these challenges are designed for. Mm-hmm. It's like every challenge, every episode pushes you a different level and tests you in a different way that you don't expect. And to have that kind of adaptability is really impressive.
Speaking of JK, like, holy shit, like, made an absolute meal out of this character and brought a ton of that, like, only bend my knee for the Lord, and that the little leg flip and the spinning around and like the evangelical vibe. JK brought all of that to the character. And
when I saw that marshmallow camper Ho walk into the room on episode 1 of season 5, while I thought it was cute, I would have never thought that he could do that stuff. Yeah. And I think it's so cool that he can, and that he got to show that to everybody. Like, what a star.
Absolutely. And we're just going down the line. This is like
we're kissing everybody's
ass because we love them. We loved it, and we love them. Yeah.
I mean, oh God, I want to see Jaharia in a musical, like, for sure. She needs to be in a musical.
I agree. Yeah. And the reveal was just flawless.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever seen a dress like that in person. I've seen them like online. Like I've seen other performers be able to like kind of pull that zip tie and like the whole thing comes off. But I've never seen it in real life, and I've never seen it on the Dragula stage. And when it happened, I was like, oh my God, it was so good.
Yeah, it was. It was very impressive. And okay, this is weird. I love that little janky song that we used for their looks before the musical.
Yeah.
I was like, at first when the editor was working, I was like, what? And then I was like, wait a minute, I kind of love this. It actually nails the vibe.
It really does.
Very happy.
It brought us back to like the late 70s, early 80s for sure.
Yeah, and I think of Bora's like kind of glam rock look with the kind of almost wet hair and the drippy, the eyes real dark. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I did too. And then there was Eva, who I think took the interpretation that I had with the first look, with the clown look, as you called it, the bozo, the clown look. I felt like she took the idea of like a party goer, a Transylvanian in the definition of Rocky Horror Picture Show, all the freaks that show up at the mansion when they're going to reveal Rocky. I thought that she took that and brought it to Dragula world. It was kind of like psycho vampire clowns from outer space at a party. That's how I read it. So I was looking for a little bit more of a stronger Rocky reference, but that's the one that I created for myself, and I thought it fit very well.
I think the color palette is what maybe threw it off a little for me. I get the idea, and I'm not totally against it. But if the palette was maybe blacks and that almost green blue color, the doctor's
right
scrubs kind of
scrub
color,
teal.
things like that maybe. But I still, regardless of the fact that it was a clown look, it was a great clown look.
I know, it was awesome.
Mean, the way she spun around on stage and the coat opened up, and then the cane trick and the streamer. I was like, this is great. I mean, and that does harken back to Eva's origins, because she did that laughing clown show. And that was her promo look for season 3.
Yeah. And then, we spoke a lot about Eva's performance. Just a natural on the stage. Loved working with her in that capacity. Loved working with everyone in this cast on this. It was so fun. And just, kudos to everybody.
So let's talk about the Cauldron, right? Because I've seen people, there's a lot of hotly debated stuff there. I want to start with saying this. I like to see the Dragula cast as fallible, right? I don't like when anyone seems too perfect or too holier than thou. I like when people talk about real stuff. And this conversation is a real conversation. Mm-hmm. Sigourney really has faced a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
Being an AFAB performer in the drag world, which a lot of times takes place at gay bars.
No, for sure. Like, she has probably fought against the flow of the river her whole career to be recognized and respected in the drag community. Like, in green rooms and backstages, people probably look at her and, judge her and count her out before her foot is even in the door.
Absolutely. And by the same token, absolutely, being a Black alternative queer artist in the world today is an obstacle. Yeah. Blackberry said you have to do everything twice as hard. Mm-hmm. It's the truth.
I believe it too.
And this is the thing. We celebrate the other with Dragula. This is a home for Black alternative queens. This is a home for AFAB performers or drag kings or whatever. It's like you say, it's a Rocky Horror world. Everybody's welcome and celebrated and judged evenly. So I like that they had this conversation, because it took the power of oppression out of the room for a minute. What I mean is, they're talking to each other directly. Mm-hmm. They all have their challenges and problems, and obviously more so Sigourney and JK and Jaharia. But they got to break those barriers down, and Jaharia did it well and said, what are you bringing? Okay, let's put that aside. What are you bringing outside of that?
Outside of the sort of identity politics as an artist, what is it? And I was like, wow, it was like full stop.
Yeah.
Because look, P.S., we recognize clearly that AFAB performers and drag and Black queer performers don't get the same type of opportunities that everybody else does that they deserve.
Right.
And that's why we platform them.
Right.
You know, that's why
Yeah.
we try to raise them up, because they're part of our community and they deserve it just as much as anybody else.
For me, I mean, something that's kind of like important when I think about us in clubs back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were all like freaks. I mean, we were like you think about the type of people we were in the green rooms with back in the day when we all performed together. It was like us and Calpurnia Adams, you know, trans people, like definitely Black performers of every different sexuality. And it was just, you know, it was a mishmash of people, and it really, identity wasn't such a big deal back then. Like, I don't know if that person was a drag king technically, or this person, really just didn't matter.
Yeah, I don't think everybody's like boundaries were so defined.
No,
either.
we were like punk, kind of like, you know, like we all just came from an outcast. It was like we were the X-Men or something.
Yeah, it really was like that.
And everyone hated all of us, and we hated them, and we put on good shows, and that was it.
Yeah, it was our job to break down weird barriers too. Like, we kind of like destigmatified like so many things with like the shows and the concepts that we would put out there, including like, you know, seeing a straight guy with queer girls, and you know, this person's big and this person's small and this person's Black and this person's not, and it was like very mixed. And in LA at the time, you did not see that.
No.
It was very segregated, and I think in many ways a lot of the scenes still are.
Yeah,
but that's what we were doing way back then.
A Rocky Horror world, and I think we've done that now as a show. But you know, not to get too far off the path, but that's why I like this episode, because it felt like that again. It's like, let's not weaponize our identities against each other. Let's talk about why we're here and that we're competing, and what are you bringing to the competition?
Yeah.
And that's what the conversation should be. So it was timed perfectly to be able to have that conversation, I think. I also want to say I love Jaharia, I love JK, and I love Sigourney. I do. I don't dislike Sigourney because she might have said crazy shit behind the scenes. Okay, well, a lot of them said crazy shit in front of the scenes, you know? Like, so it's like there was a lot of crazy behavior, and we're not perfect. We all fuck up. It is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. And there were a lot of different factors. I think, you know, there were the dynamics of the competitors and the history of what they were doing episode to episode. Then there was this conversation of like, we're seeing sort of the same silhouette. And I think we saw some of that in this episode when we did the flashback to the laboratory jacket. I was like, I saw the white one a couple of years ago, and I'm definitely seeing, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I've seen this before. You know, so there was that question of, will we see something groundbreaking and sort of outside the box from this competitor? And at this stage, Abora said it. It's like, it's kind of too late. Like, you have to be doing that consistently. So there were all of these things going on, but then they all spoke. And I don't know that what we saw did anything for Sigourney's case. And in many ways, I feel like it kind of sealed her fate in Eva's mind.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing that the rest of the cast has been saying about her the whole season, right? And it was never caught on camera before. I've never seen it. They said that she said it, but I never saw it. And I don't, you know, is she brilliant and just knew how to not say things on camera? Probably. Yeah. You know, because we heard her say that stuff at the end, and that was the first time that her audio was caught saying stuff like that. And understandably, she was pissed. I mean, who wouldn't be pissed? But it's the tone. You don't go from like Mrs. Nice to that. Like, if you have that in you, you know what I mean? Like, you just...
She was keeping that hidden, and I think we all do that, right? We all keep the word, maybe like the voice that like lashes out, or like, you know, in a moment of like vulnerability or whatever, we try to suppress that as everybody does that. But when it comes out, it gets hot. And we've said this before on this podcast. Oftentimes we'll see weird behavior when people are eliminated. And this was like such a very specific elimination. So the feelings came out.
Guess what? I like her better that she said it. How about that? I do. I'm like, I love it. I'm like, why didn't you say it on camera, Sigourney? Maybe I would have gave you a free pass.
Oh my God.
Well, I guess we kind of did though, right? On episode 1.
Yeah, we've been there. We did that already.
Anyway, Sigourney, we love you. And like Abora, I think you are definitely a star of Dragula. I do not think you brought your best, at least from what we saw this season.
So from what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
Because there's more to come.
Of course. But I'm saying at this point, you know, when she was disintegrated. Yeah. So what's to come is a whole different story.
Right. And speaking of coming, let's talk about Priscilla and Blackberry's performance.
Oh my God.
Dude, you handed that to me on a silver platter and I had to serve it.
I've gotten used to not setting myself up like that because Ian isn't here.
Yeah. Sorry. Old habits die hard.
It was great. Look, so a lot of people said they thought Priscilla should have won. I disagree because I think Blackberry's outfit was meticulous. It was. Yeah. Blackberry's outfit was fabulous. It was meticulous. And I really liked what Priscilla did too, but you got to pick one. That's it.
And I think this too. I think the actual secret killer here, the big bad of Titans 2, has actually been prop malfunctions, because it was back-to-back prop malfunctions that really put the thought of like, oh, could Blackberry's time be ending? And when I saw Priscilla's look, I was like, oh, this is going to be so great. And then when the sort of like dildo gag kind of backfired a little bit, and then we saw the tube and it got a little weird. I mean, that is a gag malfunction, and it definitely counts against you.
It does. Yeah. It really does. Yeah.
But that's episode 8. Whoops, nope. That's episode 7, and what a great one. I'm still kind of like flying high off the fumes of watching it last night.
I am too. Again, I'm so proud of the cast. I really am. And honestly, I want to thank the entire cast, all 14 of them, for bringing an incredible season, because people are absolutely loving it. I have to thank us, because I know we killed ourselves to try to make this the biggest and the best season ever. And now I don't know how I'm going to top myself. Because I'm like, I used it all. I used up everything good. But that's not actually true.
That's not actually true.
At the time it was.
Yeah. And I want to say this too. I think what we're seeing, in my personal opinion, is the best season of Dragula.
Me too.
Titans 2 is the best season of the show.
Yeah.
And on that note, we're going to take a break and we'll come back with all of your listener questions.
All right, everybody, welcome back. It's time to answer your listener questions. Remember, if you have a question for us about this episode's recap or the last episode of the Boulet Brothers Dragula Titan Season 2, please write to us at creatures@bouletbrothersdragula.com, and we will try to answer your mail live on air. First up, Nate asks, when can we expect Blood Moon Fang Bang to be released on major music platforms, plus YouTube Music? Very soon.
Yeah.
Very, very soon, actually, I think. Probably, I don't know, a week, 2, something like that.
Very, very soon. And on that note, I want to send a shout out to Tomas and Ashley, who helped produce this track, and Ashley really poured herself into it. And it's so bomb. Like, I'm so happy with the tone and the vibe, and by Swantula and Drakmorda and all of the references. Like, she just nailed it.
She really did, yeah. The both of them are incredible.
Daniel writes, oh, no, why did you get the like little one
Here,
sentence?
And I got it.
Okay.
Daniel asked, thank you so much for the Boulet Brothers Horror Picture Show. It was sexy, campy, irreverent, and fun, and everyone's looks and performances were fabulous. I especially enjoy hearing the competitors actually sing and would love to see more of that on the show. But be honest, did you have to auto-tune anyone? No shade intended, but some of the monsters sounded a lot better than I expected.
I don't think so.
If they were, it would only be in how every artist you listen to is. Because I'm just going to tell everybody out there, if you don't know, I'm going to let you know, they're all auto-tuned.
Yeah.
Your favorite is auto-tuned. That's the truth. So it's possible that they were a little bit, but none of them sucked because we would have put it in.
Yeah.
If they were off key, we would love to put an off key person on. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
So no, they didn't.
Yeah. And several of them bought character voices. Like Abora was like, sorry, darling, God isn't here.
Yeah.
And just poured his character out, which sounded great in the recording studio and brought like a whole attitude without having to be like, I'm a trained singer.
Yeah.
And Cynthia did a lot of the same thing too. The truth is, Eva and Jaharia are actually legitimately talented singers.
Yeah.
So those are the voices I think that are permeating and the pervasive ones that people are hearing. And you're like, oh my God, I didn't expect them to sound so good. Well, they sound that good in real life.
Jaharia was good on her season's musical. She might have been the only one that sang good, but she was. Now, the second part to Daniel's question, would you ever consider writing a full musical for stage or screen? I could crawl into the grave happily, having seen a live production, big screen version, or even a streaming presentation of a full musical of this caliber. I feel like we're going to get cursed and have to make one. I wouldn't pick two, but I feel like it's going to happen. So sure, we're doing it.
Yeah, that's a curse that I would put on myself because I love the idea. Like it's so inspiring to me, and my history comes from like live stage and theater stuff. I am, like Eva, a theater kid. So yeah, I would absolutely love to do that.
Told you, I knew we were going to have to do it. Get ready.
Come on, let's go. Okay, Nick writes, I wanted to write and ask the reason for the hodgepodge of different elimination styles during this season. We've had exterminations, trapdoors, and now a sonic, well, it's supposed to be the sonic transducer. Why the jump around of different methods and not just stick to one method?
I don't understand why you would want the same thing. I'll tell you why. This is the Boulet Brothers Dragula Titans. So we can't do just exterminations and death scenes like we do on a regular season. We wanted to mix it up. And also, we purposely did not want people to know what was going to happen on every episode. Like, here's your challenge, here's your thing, here's your that. In this format, you don't always know who went home at the end of an episode. Sometimes 4 people will go home on an episode, and I personally think that's exciting.
I totally agree. And I think it's kind of delightful that you think you know what's coming, and then you get this weird hellbound showdown fight, and then you fall off a cliff because you don't know who's coming back, and it's like, oh my God, I'm looking forward to the next week.
And look, I know it's nowhere near as exciting as 2 people getting up on stage and moving their mouth and doing generic gay club dance slams on the ground every episode for 20 years or however long it's been over multiple franchises. I'm sorry that we can't be that cutting edge, but you'll just have to accept it the way it is. Maximus asks, what were your initial reactions to Eva saying Sigourney's name? Was it shock, excitement, dread? I want to know, and don't be shy. Get messy. Who would you have exterminated? Okay.
So I'm not going to get shy, and I will get messy.
Let's take our turn. You go first.
Okay. When Eva said Sigourney, I was filled with several feelings right away, like a punch to the face. I was excited and shocked because I'm like, she did it. Like, she did the thing that we've been talking about, like let your voice match your drag voice kind of thing. But then I was also like, oh fuck, because this is someone's chance kind of like falling out. And I love Sigourney. Sigourney was one of the stars of her season. We toured with Sigourney. I'm friends with Sigourney. Like, I love her, especially on the show. It did fill me with a little bit of dread for Eva because I'm imagining, I saw what happened to some competitors firsthand on season 4, and you can't control that perception from the fan base, and you can't control them slipping into everybody's like personal messages and like spewing hate and all this kind of stuff. And that's what I was most concerned for in that moment. Like, the dread was coming from like, I hope that we're not in that place anymore. You know what I mean? For Eva's sake. And for our sake.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, this show is a test. And traditionally, almost everyone that has won the show or that is successful in the show gets fucking attacked online and ripped into 1,000 pieces. And the truth is, you got to have a thick skin. You have to, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen to you sooner or later. If you keep playing around in this reality show, we've gotten our ass kicked many times too. It's
Several times.
It's the way it is. And so to me, that's something you need to experience and be able to deal with if you're going to, potentially win the show. And at this point, all the people that are still there have an equal chance of winning.
LJ from Milwaukee.
Oh my God, I forgot to say what my reaction was to Sigourney's name. Okay, sorry.
And it was your turn to read, so go ahead.
Gagged.
Yeah.
I was like gagged. I was shocked. And I was a little like, oh my God. Like, because I just knew, I was like, I knew it was going to be a big deal.
Gagged.
As
Your
Loris
jaw
would say.
on the ground.
Yeah. I mean, I just knew it was going to be a big thing. And I was like, oh my God. Like, we already had 2 disqualifications. Abora went to the hospital. I mean, so like the stuff with Dahlia, it was such a crazy season that I was just like, here we go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That feeling, we've talked about, like, we get halfway through the season traditionally and things kind of slow down and chill in the episodes because they fight less. Well, that also happens while we're filming the show. Like, it usually explodes with craziness because everybody's there. It's the first episode, and then the beginning is very, bombastic and disruptive, and then it usually chills. And this season just never chilled. I would be going to stage and I'd just be wondering on my drive in, like, what the fuck's
What's
going to
happen
today?
Yeah. Because a lot more happened than people even know. Like the behind the scenes stuff that doesn't even make it to the edit is just as bad sometimes.
It's wild.
It just doesn't make any sense to try to explain it. Some of the shit they pull, I'm like, this just go to bed.
LJ from Milwaukee. I'm about to take a trip back to New York City, and I know it has been mentioned in a previous episode, but mothers, could you please recap your absolute must-sees and do's in the Big Apple?
There was a time where I knew everything about New York, where to go, where to eat, what clubs to go to, everything. Every time I go back now, it's either for tour or for media. Like we just went and did press for the show. We were there for Halloween doing press for like us as Halloween people, did all the Radio Andy stuff. That was fun. Went with Dorinda from the Real Housewives of New York. But anyways, so I don't know, honestly. Like, I don't know anymore. The city's changed a lot. What do you think?
I'm with you. I wish I could say I have like this encyclopedic reference of like every city that we've been to. And we were just in New York, but it has completely changed. And it's kind of in many ways like a new city with the same feeling. Like New York is fucking cool. Like New York is the coolest city on the planet. So there's tons to see, but we're just not the right people to ask.
Actually, I do have one little piece of advice for you. I don't know where you're from, but people in New York are horny. It is a horny city. It is. Like, there's something there. It's just there's sexual tension. The guys are hot. There's a weird energy, right?
You know what I think it is? Like, okay, especially living in LA. LA is the actual reciprocal opposite of this about New York. You interact with a lot of people. Like, if you love people watching, whether you're making eye contact on the street or you're in a park, you're getting a cup of coffee, you're in the subway, you're in transit, you are around people in an intimate way, very close proximity all day long, every day. And I think that just like ramps up the hormones. It makes you think like there's physical attraction kind of all the time.
It's a very slutty place. So I would say keep your eyes open and flirt with some people, and I bet you your life will be changed. This is a question I must ask. Taylor from West Virginia. West by God, Virginia. Hi, this is Taylor from West Virginia. You should have told us what city you were from. Are you from Beckley? Are you from Morgantown? I don't know. Longtime listener and fan of the show. As someone who sits in Dracmorta's camp as not a musical gay, I thoroughly enjoyed this rendition of Rocky Horror and wanted to congratulate you guys on having fun with it and poking fun at the fans and yourselves during challenge issuing. All right. No question, but a comment. I love it.
I love it too. This is the spirit that we put it together in. We wanted to celebrate it. It wanted to be stupid and funny and fun and not take ourselves too seriously and just have a good time.
It's a good comment on a musical, which is a far cry from last season.
Ash from California writes, my question is about Eva Destruction. I simply must know, what was your initial reaction to seeing Eva's confessional look for this season? Did she run it by production beforehand, or did she just show up on set and a nosebleed becomes her chic?
I don't, I got to be honest with you. I get so annoyed when I see their confessional looks and they're like trying to do something. Because here's why. Because I'm like, I want them to be stripped down and raw. Like, this is the opposite of your drag persona. This is just you. Like, and if you get in another drag outfit, I'm like, what the hell,
I hear it. I didn't see it, and I didn't. And she did not like run it by me. Like, maybe someone else knew like what was going to happen. But when the look came out, when I saw it for the first time, I'm like, I live. Like I'm like, I love how ballsy the fashion gets in both in the lab and in the confessionals, especially Zaba. Like, if you go back and you look at season 4,
Zaba
served. Like, oh my God, so good. And I love when they take kind of like fashion risks both in the confessionals and in the lab. So I was a fan.
With the makeup though, okay, I do have to say though, JK's confessional look is brilliant because of the reference to that meme. I don't know if people get it, but that is brilliant. Yeah. Max from Amsterdam asks, I've been a longtime fan of your sickening shows. One of my favorite things, and you'll hate this, is the chemistry between you two when you host. My question is, how do you make it work running the Dragula Empire together with your partner? And how do you keep business and your private lives separate? It's pretty easy to get along and run things because at this point we have figured out what each of us are good at or not, or honestly what each of us wants to do and what the other one doesn't. And I think we fit together like a puzzle in that way. For example, this whole musical. I'm not a fan of musicals. This is the one I'm taking a step back on this one. But, other ones I am so in it, like hardcore all night, like just all about it. And I think the yin and yang of that works really well for us. As far as how we keep it out of our personal lives, I think it's more a challenge to keep our personal lives out of the drag because you got to imagine we spend all our time together in real life. And so we're not in a character, or in makeup or whatever when we're sitting around. So we have to remind ourselves, oh, right, we are in our character now,
Yeah, I think it's gotten easier in recent years. There were a few years, I think, where the lines were really blurry. And the truth was, if the question is, how did you keep your drag life from your personal life? It was easy because I had no personal life.
Right.
It's not an exaggeration. It's not like, oh, I worked myself to the bone. Literally, that's what we did. Like for a couple of years, it was all we did, which was kind of build and work and plot and toil and just continue to do what we did. And it's actually taken some time to realize, okay, we don't have to do that anymore. Now we've gotten a little bigger and more hands on deck and it's established. Now, how can we strike this balance? It's not easy at all. I think any business owner can relate to that.
I do too. And I want to say, just because everything always looks so perfect from the outside, the truth is we sort of live as these characters. Like at this point, it was like January until now, right? We were pretty much our characters all year. We filmed all these projects and things that are going to be coming out that people are going to see.
We took a 6-week tour.
We did knots. So we were just in our element. We did all those appearances up until through like November 2nd or 3rd. So there's a crash where you're like, who am I? Like, what do I like? What do I do? I have eyebrows, all this stuff. It's really weird.
No, and it happens every year, and this is the time that it happens, and it has started. I'm like both happy, like elated that this season is going the way that it's going, and that people are loving what we've created. Like we really poured ourselves in and wanted this as a goal to be right all the wrongs of Titans 1 and just be an incredible season of the show. And I think we got that. So I'm excited on one hand, but there's like this seasonal fallout depression of darkness that it's so easy to fall into and struggling through like, God, what do I like? What am I going to do with my time now? Because it's been almost 11 months of nothing but work.
And the answer is we're going to rediscover our personal lives by flying to Rio and partying for like 2 or 3 weeks in the sun while it's dark and depressing here in California. And by the sun, I mean, in a warm night, because we ain't going to be out in the daytime,
No.
that's for sure. Anyways.
Sun hasn't touched the skin in a few years.
Jessica from Folsom writes, for the boozical, how dare you, Jessica. Is there a reason we didn't see any footage from the recording studio or rehearsals? Was filming not done, or was there nothing that stood out to show? Every time we send a camera crew to the recording studio, it's boring as hell, and we never use the footage.
No, we do use the footage, but it is boring, and we end up like boiling it down to like a very quick little segment.
Yeah, so it's very expensive to send the whole crew out there, and we have a budget to keep, so there's no footage, and they were boring.
And that is that on that. Matt from Oregon. Notice how I pronounced that? I learned that when we were doing the Oregon Vortex.
Oregon.
Right.
The Oregon Vortex.
I'm Matt from Portland. Oh, wait, sorry, let me say that again. I'm Matt from Portland, Oregon. And I was wondering if you two have been watching It Welcome to Derry. And if so, what are your thoughts? So we started it the other night. And Drac lasted about 11 minutes. And I'm like, you're looking at your phone? because I was in it. There was trouble in River City. There's a flying bat baby chomping people's heads off. Like the kid is gone. I was like, this is good. Like I was very excited. But did we even get to finish the one episode? No.
It was dumb.
No, it was not.
It was dumb.
Your attention span was completely gone.
That stupid baby. I was like, I'll tell you something else. These fucking little kids. I'm like, I hate a little kid gang. I hate it. I can't deal with it. And I know that's what it's about, but I thought this was going to be about Pennywise's origins, and they weren't going to be any fucking little kids. And there's little kids.
Let me just say this. I know Dracmorta's origins, and there was someone that I know, and she's sitting right across from me who was in a little kid gang.
When I was a little kid, but I'm not. And I don't want
You and all your freaky little friends running around causing trouble.
Oh, it was fun. We used to break into those tunnels to hunt Satanists and everything. But anyways, that's a story for another time.
Exactly. It's good, and I would love to give it another shot. I'll work on it. I'll work on Drac. We'll give it another shot. I'll go to the next one. Katie writes, with Titans receiving a season 2, is Resurrection dead? Do you think as judges it's fair to compare season 1 competitors to seasons 2 through 6 and beyond?
Okay, so is Resurrection dead? No, but it'd have to come back at the right time in the right format. Resurrection, I'll just say this, is absolutely one of my favorite things that I've ever worked on and probably ever will. There's something magical about it. There's something cinematic and emotional in Saint's story, I think, and also at the end, with the way that they found out who won with the tapes.
I mean, my God, it was so genius. It was so good.
In love with it. And it was just a really special time. As far as do we think it's fair as judges? So what would I do? Bring on someone from season 1 and be like, you get a free pass because you were on season 1. Like, no, of course I think it's fair. Like, look, when the show's not on, they're all out there in the club performing. Mm-hmm. Like whether you're on season 6 or season 1. And if when you're on season 1, you've had even more time to perfect your craft.
You've had 7 years to learn how to beat that face and make a dress.
If you're still doing it, you got to be either good at it or stupid. So yes, we have to judge the same.
Yeah.
Chelsea from Hull, UK asks, in the introduction to Dragula, you say, headline the upcoming Dragula World Tour. Please, 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 please say that you're going to come back to the UK. I last saw yous in 2023 on the season 4 tour. And I need to see yous perform again.
Chelsea, the season 4 tour was killer too. It was so good.
And I love the UK. I will say, I used to think it was very fancy and it was very tea and, the Queen and all that
very
stuff
tea and
until
crumpets.
I go there. And then I was like, oh my God. And everyone's partying and throwing up in the street. That's what I think about the UK. I think of like college guys throwing up in the street.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
There's a lot of that over there. I don't know what it's, but there are some beautiful places to visit. I love the UK. I'd love to go back. I just have to tell people, like, it's not up to us, right? It's not up to us where we go on tour. I also want to say, I don't know how much more touring we're going to do. We'll see. Like, I don't know what the future holds, but like, we are busy. We're busy now. And especially with our residency coming up at Knott's, like, our appearances may be
limited. But we I think we literally just talked about this today, how we want to go back to the UK with the next tour. And those conversations are kind of always being had, and there's so many factors that can change it. Like even this administration is making going into other countries or people coming from countries here difficult, dangerous, shady. It's like, why would anyone want to do that?
Right.
And then it's like you have to work with the local promoters too. Like, what is the UK's situation like? Like, what are they like economically? Is it affordable to fly a team of people over there to get a double-decker bus and drive? Oh, it's so fun. God, I do want to go back.
I love the fans.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
the
right
fans
now,
in the UK
fans
are the best.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even when we did that more extended, like European tour where we went to like Amsterdam and Berlin and Paris. Like, I loved that. I would love to do that again.
I know. It's so good. Let's put it out there. We want that.
Especially that one club in Berlin. Like, I got to go back there.
Schwooze. All right, my darlings, that's all the time we have for this episode of Creatures of the Night. Thank you for joining us. Why don't you rate, subscribe, and review and prove your love? It's very important. And just as a reminder, if you have any questions about this episode or any of our upcoming projects, you can write to us at creatures@bouletbrothersdragula.com. We'll see you next time, Uglies. The Boulet Brothers Creatures of the Night is hosted and produced by Mortem and Swantula Boulet, with music by Neuron Spector.